Hello, hello. Welcome to Open Office Hours. I'm Crystal Hinkle, part of the team here at Syncro, and I will let the rest of the team introduce themselves.
Hey everybody, it's Tatiana. Welcome.
Hi everyone, it's Brandy. Nice to see you all.
Well, so today I'm looking at your guys' backgrounds and I'm like, they're so fancy. Like Tatiana's in some like high-rise like designer studio, it looks like, with like exactly how she would actually decorate an office, I'm fairly certain. And Brandy's like on vacation in her like bungalow, and I'm like really happy to see you both. So anyways, welcome to Open Office Hours. For those of you that are joining us for the first time, this is what Open Office Hours is. It is just a fun place to join every Friday, get your questions answered. These questions can be anything from, hey, I've never looked at Syncro, I don't know how to create a ticket, to I have been using Syncro for years and I need help with a workflow. So whatever questions you have, they're totally welcome. We use the Q&A. So if you see us looking or glancing at a different screen, we're either preparing for the next question, but that's what we use to organize questions as they come in. We will use the chat internally to drop any sort of links or recordings or anything like that. Speaking of recording, these are recorded. I know you heard the nice lady tell you that they were being recorded, but we do post these to our YouTube channel, usually same day. So if you've missed any in the past, feel free to check those out. But yeah, I think this is just a great place to ask questions. And I think it's funny, like some Fridays that Q&A would already be filled. Sometimes it takes like first person. So here's your challenge. Who's going to be the first person? Who is going to be the first person to ask a question? So that's kind of the spiel. I know that since we don't have any questions, Tatiana or Brandy brave enough to show internal report builder? Anyone? I don't know. It's a really cool new report. It's like the executive report builder. It's just brand new and it just got released last week.
Yes. I will show it. I know that every time we look at the executive summary report builder, people are super happy, especially as MSPs, because you guys need to, sometimes it's like you have to prove your value to your customer, because if everything is running perfectly and smoothly and they're not seeing any problems, it's because you're doing a phenomenal job. But sometimes when they get the bill, they're like, there's no problems. Why are we paying you? And the executive summary report builder came first. So for those of you that haven't seen it yet, it's going to be, I will show the internal report builder, but this is kind of what we based our internal report builder on, is the way that this executive summary report builder is structured. So since we don't have a ton of questions, I'm going to show you guys again. You can run this on a customer per customer basis. There's a bunch of templates you can build out, and really you can run this on a schedule. Sometimes I see MSPs running this at the same time the recurring invoice goes out. Customer gets a bill and then they get a beautiful report showing them all the wonderful things that you are taking care of for them so that they can focus on running their own business. So I'm going to show, again, this template is going to be very, very similar to what the internal one looks like. But again, just since we have some time here and not a ton of questions, I wanted to show this section. So again, you can really make this look exactly the way that you want it to. There's text boxes, visual boxes. You can enter different page breaks to basically like describe like, hey, this is what is important. This is why we're showing you this information, stuff like that. So definitely check out the executive summary report builder if you haven't seen it. So along the same lines, the new one that we just released is the internal report builder. So obviously this is more metrics to show you guys efficiency, profitability, stuff like that. Again, this one can be run on a schedule. You can set a default template, or when you're building out new ones, they're going to be listed here. And again, similar type of a concept to where you basically build the information that is the most important to you in the way that you want to see it. So again, this is more for yourself. You can either create a visual summary block here, text, list, and really it actually gets pretty granular with the information that you want to display. It will pull in both RMM types of alerts, so alerts detected, antivirus detected if you're using AV through Syncro, but also things on the PSA side. So how much time are you spending? Do you want to run the report for all customers or just one specific customer? In what type of time frame are you looking to run it? So again, a lot of this stuff is super explanatory. If you guys just kind of dig into it and take a look at it closer, but it will basically pull in the metrics that you need to help you make really good business decisions in regards to profitability, efficiency, things like that. So hopefully that's helpful to you.
Awesome. Thank you. I love the executive summary report builder. So now I know the internal report builder is just going to be super, super valuable to people. So that's awesome. Chris is asking, how's the weather? It's amazing. It's hot where I am. I'm in sunny San Diego and they're saying no. I don't know if that means it's cold or it's too hot, but it's like 80 here and it's never 80 here. It's always like 70. So I'm happy. They're not happy, I don't think. Maybe rain. I don't know.
No, really hot and smoky here.
Oh, smoky, not great. Hot, great. Yes. No smoke. I've got a couple of questions in here, so I'm just going to fire away at some of these. So John is asking, I have a few clients that are in different locations and want to be billed at each of these locations. How can we do that in Syncro? So I'm just going to share my screen with you real quickly. What you will need to do if you are wanting to bill them differently is you're going to need to set them up as separate customers. So we don't have a way of billing the different locations or reporting on different locations separately right now. So you might have Larry's business location A, Larry's business location B. But I do want to show something while we're here is that for an individual customer, you can have multiple locations. So I could, if you scroll down a little bit further on the customer page, you're going to see different additional sites and addresses. So contacts can be assigned to these, assets can be assigned to locations. So definitely want to check that out. But for billing and reporting, you would need to set them up as separate customers. And then I have, let's see here. I've got a couple others. Any plan to be able to search the body of tickets, not just the title? Really great question. I know we played around with this previously in the search all things box. It's looking through a ton of data in our system. So if we were to add the body here, it would take a really long time to return the results. So I know this is an internal conversation that possibly within tickets, if you go there to actually be able to search in here, and we might be adding that in the future. I don't have an ETA on that. I don't think it's like set in stone, but it's definitely been requested. I just like to let people know why it's not going to be up here because that could take a really long time. And then I have Elizabeth, it looks like with the blue screen you're experiencing and using the MC Soft, I would just reach out to support. It's we can drop the support phone number for you, just help@syncromsp.com. Reach out to them. I don't know specifically of this type of error issue happening, but definitely reach out to them because they've probably seen it. And I think, well, one more. It looks like we have a question about, is there a way to merge the tickets faster? So if you are in a ticket, the only way right now would be to merge one ticket at a time. And so, or I guess two together would be to do it from this page. Don't think unless this has been added, and keep in mind there's always tricky things that they add sometimes without us knowing, is to be able to do it in bulk actions. But I think it's just two tickets that you're going to be able to merge at one time. That's it for me.
All right, I'm going to grab a few. John, you'll love this. So his comment is, when administering a ticket and entering text body, making a change will refresh the page and clear the body. Are there any plans on having an auto save or changing the other functions to call via Ajax? So We really enjoy when you tell us things that are like bothering you, because I actually just copy pasted this and took this right to our senior product manager, Andy. I'm sure you've seen him all over YouTube, and he was like, yeah, we should definitely be doing this. I'm going to raise it to the team. So thank you, John. That is being looked at now, and Andy agrees with you. And then Chris would like an update on nesting policies. So awesome. I was just in a call yesterday, and it's going really well. We're looking at a few like bug fixes and just continuing to throw it through Q&A. So it's looking really well. I don't have a go live date, but things are looking awesome and it's beautiful. Everyone, oh man, you're just gonna love it. And I think that might have been all. I think that's all I grabbed for. Oh wait, one more. Because I think this is another feature request, unless Brandy or Tatiana, you know something different. Is there any way we can store logs for ticket with similar scenario cases so that it will be just a drag and drop for closing cases? So all I know is like on a ticket, like on the main ticket page, you can filter by like ticket type. And I don't know if you need more than that, if you're looking to like be able to actually tag it, because I've heard that request where you can actually tag a ticket. So if that's what you're talking about, that is on the feature request list. But I will add your vote. All right.
I do just like to add to that too. If there are certain ticket types that like maybe you did all this research to figure out how to do a certain type of ticket and you never want to have to do that again, you can also reference you could make a knowledge base article, essentially a wiki page in our documentation and reference that. You in the search all things box, you can actually search the body of the documentation pages and then pull that up for yourself and be able to quickly like either copy and paste it into a ticket type or look up how to do that for your own reference.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Crystal and Brandy. I have a couple questions in here that are similar, which makes me super happy because this is going to help more than one person. So I'm going to read the question out loud from Gabriella. I'm very new to using Syncro. I'm having trouble with templates, especially the one for sending invoices. How can we make it look better? And then kind of a similar question below, I think from, I lost it. I know there was a second one in here, but I'll address it when I find it. So I'm going to share my screen here real quick, and I'm going to show how to customize the PDFs for your recurring invoices. So to kind of take it a little bit high level is when you are initially building out your recurring invoices, or any invoices are going to be listed here through this template that you build out for the customer, which is going to say which line items are actually going to be included in the invoice. So what I mean when I say that is when you're onboarding a brand new customer, you're going to say, per this template for Larry's business, I want to bill them this often on this date of the month. Right here, you can pull in pending ticket charges, which will basically carry over any notes from the ticket based on the tags that you're using. I'll drop a key B about that, or any line items that are going to be listed here. So again, this recurring invoice template is going to fill in what is included in that invoice for you. And then to customize the look and feel of the actual PDF, you're going to want to head over to the admin section and take a look at the PDF and email templates section here. Click into your invoice template. You can have multiples of them if you have different customer types. You're offering different types of services. You can have multiple different types of invoice templates here. Take a look at the rest of those tabs there. But if you edit this invoice template, you can either use drag and drop these different template tags to rearrange what this looks like, or you can even go as granular as just using the HTML section here to widen certain fields, change colors, stuff like that. I believe color changing is in here as well. I think I saw it previously, but I also included a link in the chat box of every single branding option that you have in Syncro to put your logo everywhere, change the colors as necessary. So definitely take a look in that section there. So hopefully that answers your question. Let me know if there needs to be any further follow-up. I'm happy to help. Oh, Nate, yours was right below that. Also said started to test the invoice part of Syncros or customization to how the invoice looks, layout, and colors. Yep, that would be here in this editor section, in the admin section. Next question is from Larry. He says, good morning. Good morning, Larry. Is there a way to set an automation for overdue tickets to send alerts to Microsoft Teams? So this is going to be found here in our, if you go over to admin, more admin, and then notification center. I just searched for ticket in here. I don't see an alert for overdue tickets that I could find at a quick scan, but there is one right here that says ticket of yours is due in the next 15 minutes. So I know it's not the same as, hey, it's past the deadline, but you can say is due in the next 15 minutes. Just any general ticket or your own. And these triggers can be used with Teams right here. So hopefully that is helpful to you. If you select Teams in here, it will go to whatever Teams channel that you set up right here to the webhook URL. So hopefully that's helpful for you there. Let's see, next question is from John. He says, when setting up ticket automations, is there a way to add greater than or less than under the conditions? This would be helpful when checking if a ticket has been last updated. So for this one in ticket automations, I did double check. You can add a not updated in hours type of requirement. So it's not the same as you're asking the greater than or less than and under conditions, but you can say, hey, if it hasn't been updated in 4 hours, and I believe you can even, yeah, you can say if it's part of an, if this customer, let's say, has an SLA, and it is a 24-hour SLA, meaning you have to resolve it or at least respond within 24 hours. Maybe for this type of a customer, you do need it to say like, so it would look more like this. If if they have an SLA, first of all, has an SLA, yes, and the SLA is 24 hours, then, and the ticket has not been updated in 4 hours or 2 hours or 1 hour or whatever, right here. So you can say 1 hour, then I need to know in the following way. So that would be the easiest and closest way to set that up. I'll grab just a couple more in here, and then I'll let the ladies take it back over. Gabriella says, what is the best way to record multiple times or visits to a customer and then combining them onto one invoice? Really good question. This depends on if you want to do this manually or automatically. So I'll show you how to do it manually, just super duper quick. And then I'll show you how to automate it as well. So on any ticket that you are tracking time on, I'll just open this top one here. If you have multiple time entries in here, as well as just any open tickets for this customer, if you're like, okay, we need to create an invoice for them because we're on location, you can literally from any ticket click make invoice. So what that will do is it'll carry over these 2 line items onto the invoice. If we scroll all the way down to the bottom, we have a bunch of tags that we were testing here. So ours looks messy, yours is going to look better than this. But here's all of the charges that were only for that one specific ticket. And so if you need to, you said, if you want to add multiple times or visits to a customer and then combine them onto one invoice, you just use this section right here of the pending ticket charges. You can either add all or select which ones, and it would wrap other tickets to this one single invoice. Or if you're looking to automate that, you can do that through our recurring invoice section. Here, invoice modules, recurring invoices. I already showed this section briefly, so I'm not going to go into that level of detail again. But if you click into that recurring invoice, you can just click this pending ticket charges button, which will pull in literally this entire list of anything outstanding for the customer that you have not yet invoiced them for onto this invoice for you guys. Okay, and then Elizabeth, for your last one here, I think this was in regards to MCSoft and the blue screen question. I dropped our direct point of contact at MCSoft into the chat box for you. His name is Davlet. He's very quick at responding. So if you need a quick response on the MCSoft side, you can either reach out to him directly or reach out to help@syncromsp.com.
Awesome. Thank you, Tatiana. I'm going to go ahead and go through a couple in here that I see. So John is just kind of referring back to a question he asked earlier. Says the owner email is the same and it wouldn't let him do what I had mentioned about the separate customers to be able to bill separately. So let me just show you what we would recommend doing. Make sure I'm sharing the right screen here. There we go. Okay, so what I would recommend doing is this customer information, you're right, the main email cannot be the same. So you could have just like a dummy email here if you want to. Where you're going to change it is in the contact. So a contact can be the same for multiple different customers, and you would just select that person to be the billing contact. So that's what I would recommend doing for that one. And then John is asking, is there a way to put credentials in the ticket? So in the admin section, it's not going to be credentials like it shows in the customer page, but we do have a way to encrypt custom fields. So first step would be in the App Center. You're going to see Password Vault. It's free. It's included. You don't have to worry about paying for it. And I apologize, my computer is very slow. But there's going to be Password Vault in here, and you're just going to go in and set up like your Password Vault phrase. You'll be the only one who holds a key to this, so make sure you save your recovery keys, like to let people know that. And then once you have Password Vault set up, whether you're setting up a customer, a contact, a ticket, or an asset custom field, you're going to be able to encrypt those. So in the ticket section, I can go in and I can go to my ticket custom fields. These are just my different custom field types in here. So for example, if I have one for like virus removal. Well, all the fields that are underneath that, I'm going to have the ability to make that an encrypted custom field. It's not going to be something that you pass from yourself to a customer, like the credential section in the customer page. But this is for your internal use. And then to be able to unlock any of the custom fields, whether it's here on a customer page or a ticket, you'd have to enter that phrase that you set up. So hopefully that helps. And I think I've got one more in here. So how can you add items like a router or switch to a ticket? I only see a way to add time. Good question. So that's actually going to be in the relevant asset. So you can either add an existing asset, which maybe that is I think I have like a printer in here. You could add those. Or if you don't have that, you can come in and create a new asset type. And you should have the 7 SNMP devices in here, as well as Syncro. Well, Syncro device wouldn't be in here because that's automatically added. So you would have the 7 SNMP devices and then any custom assets if you have iPhones, iPads, things like that. I know everyone's going to say their list isn't as long as mine. So these are just what I have added in here. And then you could come in here and add your printer, your router, your switch. So hopefully that helps.
Awesome. Okay, I'm going to test the limits of my internet and share my screen, but I'm going to take my camera off. So let's just do that. And then I'm going to share my screen because I got some stuff to talk about here. Okay, so tell me if I totally drop off because I can't really tell.
Looking good, looking good.
Okay, all right. Okay, Mark wants to know, where do we set taxable status to no by default for contract labor? So I wanted to just show you there's a couple ways you can handle this. In products and services, like you can have like a labor that's called contract labor, and then you can just make sure that this is unchecked. It won't, so then that would do that for that contract labor. Like if you were applying specific contract layers or labors to multiple customers. But if it was on a customer to customer basis, this is global, but you could add the default to the actual customer. So there's not really a way to do taxable or not taxable on like a contract itself in the traditional form, but you can either do it on the specific product or on like a full customer level. So hopefully that helps here. I'm going to read this one from Darren. I think Brandy kind of answered this a little bit. How do I only send particular invoices to contacts on the payables department? So Brandy just showed how you can select, which contact you want to be able to receive the payable invoices. And Darren's saying that works great. So this is actually a feature request where like on each individual invoice, you have the option to check which contact you want to receive that invoice. That is a feature request. We hear it. We definitely will pass that one along, Darren. Let's see. And then Gabriella wants to know, can we save the manually entered items on an invoice to be added to our products? No, there's not like a quick button to just save it as a products and services if you enter it as a manual item. So it does have to be entered on the products and services side first. And then I wanted to go back to the past due announcements to Teams. So you can use ticket automations. There's a couple. So Gary says, yes, for Teams alerts, you can use ticket automations. So thank you for saying that. In addition to that, Larry was saying that they had that set up. It didn't show any of the ticket information. So I'm wondering like if you could leverage our template tags here so you can have like the message leverage the template tags. So hopefully that would help. So I think that's the last one I grabbed. Okay.
Whoa, this is crazy. There's only one in here. So some anonymous, who are you, is asking, can the assets you add to a ticket be billed as well? I'm not 100% sure what you mean there, but I can show you like the billing and how, if you're referring to like dynamically billing them. I mean, the ticket, obviously you can bill the ticket. If we're looking at dynamically counting how many devices they have, that might be printers, switches, routers, iPads, things like that. Absolutely. So where you have your, I'm just on a recurring invoice, the asset and RMM counter. If you want to do this based on an asset type, this will populate. So again, you're going to automatically have those 7 SNMP types here, as well as Syncro device, meaning I have Syncro installed. The others are all just things that I've added in here, so, or someone has. So if you want to build them based on how many mailboxes and cameras and things like that, this is a great way to build them for any extra thing that you do for them. I've had people add websites as a manual asset if you're managing their website, hard drives, all types of stuff. So absolutely, you can bill that way. And you don't have to have an asset in a ticket at all, right? There's going to be quite a few times probably that you don't have an asset at all in a ticket, and that's fine too.
It is. Oh, yay. New question. I was like halfway mark and the queue is empty. Go ahead, Brandy.
Yeah, so Gary's asking, he said the SNMP assets should be there automatically. They should. So if you head into your, just go to the assets and RMM tab. And if you go to new asset, keep in mind, all of these are not going to be here. Yours isn't going to say SNMP before it either. It's going to say switch, router, printer, NAS, firewall, access point. I'm pretty certain yours does not have SNMP before it. You can correct me if I'm wrong. And if anyone has their instance pulled up, please let me know. But you should have those automatically in here, right? I thought so. So let me know. Someone's going to let us know. I know everyone has their screen up too. So let me know, but I think, yeah, that's it. It doesn't say SNMP before yours. So that's usually where people get a little confused. So yep, it'll be in here automatically.
I'm gonna grab, so I've got 2 questions here just regarding backups in general. So we're in the process of like a complete relaunch of our backups. And so Mark, you're saying, how do I set up all users' documents and desktop to be backed up on each PC? Currently, it looks like it asks for a path. However, that will change as different users log in. So I actually don't know the answer to that. I know we're going through some retraining for when we relaunch backups. And then, so I guess I can refer you to the documentation for that. But I don't personally know the answer to that. I don't know if Brandy or Tatiana do. The other question is regarding backups. Are there any plans to doing imaging? So yeah, there's definitely plans for that. I don't have a timeline. We would definitely like to offer image-based backups, but we do not have that as of today in like the new relaunch. We won't relaunch with image backups. The other thing that I wanted to come back to, let me go ahead. I'm going to share my, wrong button. I'm going to share my screen again because I was talking to Andy. We found a new button. So I was on a ticket and I started type, and I then like changed something on the ticket. There's a restore button here. I don't know if anyone knew this. You can hit restore, and that obviously that was my typing. So yeah, I didn't know that was there. So, after 4.5 years, I learned something new. I think like the plan is like definitely to like have that be automated so you wouldn't have to hit a restore button, but it's there. So that's exciting. Happy to
That's
find that out.
awesome.
I know. It's like, woohoo. See, I love being able to have like direct access to Andy and just be like, hey, I need help.
Gary says he uses restore all the time.
Well, thanks for letting us know, Gary.
Yeah, Gary.
Jeez.
Thanks a lot. No, I'm just joking. No, that's awesome to know. I honestly thought that you had to retype everything. So very much a lifesaver, that restore option.
Love
How
restore.
did everyone know?
Everyone knows and they're not telling us.
So
you guys could be teaching us too.
You guys need to host an open office hours for us.
Yeah.
Tell us all your best tips and tricks and secrets and missing buttons that we didn't know were there.
I think someone should do an open office hours for us and show us how they run their business, like what they do all day and using Syncro. Wouldn't that be cool? If anyone here uses Syncro a lot and they want to do that for the three of us, and Hannah, let us know, because I would be the first one to sign up for that.
Yes, I'll just promote you to panelist right now and you can just do your thing.
Reverse open office hours.
Yes. It looks like John,
are you volunteering?
All right, John, we see you.
You didn't submit as anonymous, so we know who you are and we will track you down now.
Oh. No. Gabriella is asking, more if I use like cables or something that's not really an asset that I want to track, can I add it to a ticket? Yeah. So I think what you're referring to there, let me populate this for you, is inside of a ticket, you can actually add any other charges. And I think that's what you mean, rather than actually like a cable that you're not going to like manage the cable, but you want to bill for it. So if you go up to add and view charges, you can either pull that cable from your inventory if you have something stored in your inventory and add that here and it'll reduce stock. Or I could just say, cable and however much you're going to charge them, a ton of money. And then you can make that taxable and add it here onto the ticket. So, it can't cost that much, you guys. So you can absolutely come in here. 10 million was the limit there. So.
That's funny.
Oh, perfect. Good.
Oh, sweet. Yeah. Sorry. I interpreted your question the first time incorrectly.
I did too.
I'm going to, in this moment of silence, I'm launching a poll. I think. Yes. My Zoom updated. Did everyone else's Zoom update?
I'm really bad. And I usually, anytime something wants to update, I'm like, nope, you do not want me to be one of your clients.
Well, I'm kind of wondering if the update is what messed up my Zoom. I don't know if anyone else, no one's asking questions right now. I don't know. Is anyone else having problems with this? See, now I'm going to ask the MSP. Is anyone else having problems with this? I updated my Zoom, right? Like right in this moment, my picture is moving, but Tatiana and Brandy are totally frozen until I take the little like hand thing. If I try to like move their video, then they come back to life. But otherwise they're frozen. What?
Mine's just the basic Zoom here. So yeah, mine just shows 3 photos. I can't drag them and drop them or anything.
Yeah, I can move you guys around, but since that functionality happened, now you just freeze every 5 seconds. Sounds like a GPU problem. Updated drivers available?
Maybe we gotta go set up that driver's patch policy,
There you go. I don't know. Okay.
I feel like we're completely turning the tables on all the attendees here. Like, you teach us about Syncro, you fix our our tech support problems. So we appreciate you guys being here. It's super fun. I really, really like that idea. Hopefully, I mean, ever since we asked for volunteers for reverse open office hours,
it's been crickets.
It's been quiet in the chat. So Let us know.
Nice. Cool.
I can go through this. So this is the contract section that we're curious about here. So let me share that. This is actually a really great question because we don't talk about contracts that often. Like usually if you had a demo, there's so many pieces in the system that, you know, in an hour, we really don't get to that portion too often. So the contracts is really done, and keep in mind, if you're coming from another platform, a contract is typically what we would call our recurring invoice. So a contract isn't going to be like a legal binding document that you're going to have your client sign. A contract in Syncro is really just setting up anything that you're going to include in your services with them, as well as anything that you want to offer them, like a discount on, anything like that. So for example, I have Larry's business here and I want to assign an SLA. You don't have to, you can leave this portion blank. And I'm going to say that this contract is going to apply to all tickets. Well, the way I have it set up here is that if I have labor, remote labor, I could even do on-site labor, anything that I want to include in their contract, I would just make that $0. If I go, I guess the point here is we want you to show your value. A lot of people are like, oh, it's all you can eat, so I'm not going to bill them for it. Well, that's fine, but I would still add it absolutely onto a ticket and track your time so you can show your value to your customers. You're probably giving away a lot of free work. And when it comes to time to reevaluating your contracts and renegotiating those contracts at the end of the year or quarter, then you can show them everything that you've done for them, even if you're not billing them. So in this case, project labor, instead of $500 a month, I want to make it, or excuse me, an hour, I'm going to make it $200 an hour. So really just going to override anything that you go add into a ticket or an invoice. That's all you really need it for. I've also seen people use this as a way to assign just one tech to this customer's tickets by using like an SLA and having it assigned to a certain tech, and you might say, okay, this is going to apply to all tickets. So that might be a way you use it too. I don't see people use the block list section too often unless you know for this customer, you don't want any of your techs to be able to charge them for a certain product that you have in your inventory. That would be another way that you can use it. So hopefully that helps.
Thank you. I think what's really interesting too about just contracts in general, I mean, most of you, if you're using Syncro, you've used another platform in the past, and contracts are like a word, it's a verbiage thing too, that, you know, in contracts, in ConnectWise, it's a totally like it's our reoccurring invoices, our agreements. And so sometimes it's like just getting the clarity of what actually contracts do. So thanks for doing that, Brandy. I appreciate it. John says, Syncro tip. When editing templates in HTML, you can have additional images, logos by encoding in base 64 and including it in your styles sheet. So thank you. I think it's fun. I play around with those templates every once in a while, and that's good stuff. Brenda wants to know, is there a way to see when a client views an estimate or invoice after they have been emailed? Feature request for right now. From the customer portal, they can approve or decline their estimate, but you cannot necessarily see that they have viewed it unless anyone has a crazy cool workaround or thing that they figured out. Not through Syncro.
I will say that on the estimate itself, it will show, let me actually just show something. Let's just do this since we don't have many questions. I want to show you guys this. So if we create an estimate, let's just do one for Larry really quickly. I promise someone will appreciate that I did this. So if I create an estimate, I'm just going to add one item. I'm putting in a plug here for upsell opportunities. Definitely want to utilize those, you guys. So now I'm just going to go ahead and publish this. So I'm going to go over to Larry's customer portal here. And I'm going to go ahead and view this estimate. Okay, I've got my PDF here. I can see that, even though you can't because it's not loaded yet. And then I'm going to approve it here. And then maybe in the invoice too, I think. Let's just download the invoice as well. I'll show you two different sections. Okay, so I looked at that here. Now let me go over into Larry's estimates. I think it's in the estimate section, you guys. See this live demo here. I'm going to open this up and it says when it was viewed in the portal. So you can populate when it was like viewed here. So I really like that for estimates.
What?
Did I teach anyone something new today?
I didn't know that.
My mind is blown right now. That's so amazing. What?
I don't know if new to me. Okay, I hope it's live, you guys. I hope it's live. If it's not, I mean, it's going to be, so, right? I think that's what it means. I don't see it in the estimate. I just wanted to, or excuse me, in the invoice. I don't see it here. Let me just, I was just going to look down here and see if it was down here. And this is definitely not the invoice, I don't think. But anyway, I just wanted to see if you could see it here, but it is in the estimate. So hopefully that helps. And after it's approved, it has a stamp. It says approved also. So that's pretty cool.
I did not know that existed. So that is awesome. Thank you.
Mic drop. No, I'm kidding.
That well deserved.
You guys,
Absolutely.
okay, now let me tell you, it's not something I've known forever. Okay, so it happened on a demo this week with someone, and we were like, I don't know, let's go through the process of approving. And then I happened to see that. So I won't take all the credit that I knew everything about it.
Wow. Well, I love it. Thank you. I appreciate it. So I just wanted to let you know for the question, I just changed my email service to Office 365 and just need to check and confirm how email settings in admin is supposed to be set up. My question is the SMTP username, the same user account as mailboxes in Syncro. I don't know the answer to that. So I just posted to our technical support leads. So I'm not ignoring the question. I just wanted to let you know that I don't know the answer. And I'm trying to find out. If I can't find out by the end, but I see someone typing, so hopefully I'll be able to let you know here in the next couple minutes.
John just has a Syncro tip. I like this. Use better descriptive subject lines in lieu of searching in the body of ticket replies. So I like that.
So good.
And then John is asking, what is Domo for us noobs? So Domo, we actually don't have a tier for Domo anymore. So it won't integrate into Syncro.
Keep those tips coming. Those are pretty cool, John. We really appreciate those. Or if anybody else wants to share secrets. I know Jeremy, I think Jeremy's here today. He shared a Chocolaty tip of how to uninstall using a Chocolaty script, which is pretty cool. I'll drop that into the chat box, but I'm loving this like community idea sharing resource thing you guys got going on today. It's pretty cool.
I send Jeremy's video to a lot of people, so I appreciate it. Thank you, Jeremy.
Yeah.
I think he just volunteered himself, or maybe we volunteered him. Oh, we should have him show it on one of these open office hours. That might be a brilliant idea.
Ooh, special guest.
That's
Love
fine.
it.
That'd be cool.
I think he would do that.
No pressure, but this session is recorded. So if you say yes, we have proof.
Okay, I got an answer. I got an answer. So to the response to the SMTP question, the SMTP login should be the email address in Office 365. The outgoing Syncro mailbox address will need to match. I hope that answers your question. If not, if I'm not answering your question, we can, if there's clarification, or if not, I would just reach out to help@syncromsp.com. They're the specialist on that one.
Awesome. Jason says, has anyone had luck with Syncro integrations with Zapier? So if anyone wants to share like anything that they've connected using Zapier, that would be awesome. I think Jeremy said he wanted to show that one day too. I don't know. Just kidding. That'd be cool if we had like an open office hours where we had maybe like 10 people show 10 different things, like one thing each. That might be cool.
That would be cool. I know that it's like I was just looking through who was here. Randy's usually the go-to for the Zapier integration questions. The other thing, like, I wonder, oh, nice. Jeremy's not using Zapier, but he is using custom Microsoft flows, but not Zaps. The other thing I wonder, I mean, if it'd be worth showing, but our API is so awesome. So sometimes you can even bypass like using Zapier and just create some custom stuff using our API. There is even like a sandbox version of it, so you can test some stuff out. I mean, I can't talk too technically to it, but I know a lot of folks use that API and it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I can show the API stuff because I think I agree with Crystal. We both are impressed with the things that you guys come up with regarding the API, but I'll show you where to find the resources and where you like that sandbox thing that she was talking about, where to find it. So if you click help and you search RKB and you search for, I think just API, I think it'll be this third one down, and I'll drop this into the chat box for you guys, but it's this one. So it'll walk you through how to use it, but we use a program called Swagger to make it as easy as possible to basically test in a sandbox environment before you go live with it. So again, you guys are more technically experienced than us. You're going to know way more of what you want to do with this and the different sections that you want to pull into Syncro or pull out of Syncro using the API. But from what I understand, you literally just kind of set the parameters and you set this up pretty easily right through here. It's literally, you kind of just click into any of the sections that you need right here. And the step-by-step instructions are going to be in this doc that I'll drop into the chat box for you guys.
Awesome. There's one question here from Mark. When a client submits a ticket, it is not showing their email or name. How do we know who submitted the ticket? So my first question, and since we've got some time, can you tell us where they're submitting the ticket? Is it like, are they sending an email in? Are they using the system tray icon? Are they using the customer portal? How are they creating these tickets? I think that'll help me answer. Because I think there's a couple layers to this. I will need to find out. Okay. Yeah, I think that if we can follow up, and I know if this is the mark I'm thinking, like, I know if you can go to like, I think Syncro 101, they might like go through that specifically, but a lot of it has to do with having your contacts created and attached to assets, especially depending on where those tickets are being created from. So happy to help out with that, but need a little bit more information. It was through email. So it kind of depends. So does someone want to show email rules? So it kind of depends. If there's contacts created, that's one thing. If not, if there's email rules and you can say like, if it comes from this domain, I think Tatiana is going to go, oh, oops, sorry, the taskbar icon. Okay. So that's going to be like, you have to have that asset attached to a contact. If that asset's not attached to a contact, they actually have to input that information. So okay, yeah, take it away, Tatiana.
Sorry, I'm so used to you being like, can you share your screen? But I just remembered that you can share your screen, so I'm so sorry. I literally was like, I'll do it.
No, go for it.
Okay, so if they're using the system tray icon, you can design what this menu looks like for them, and it sounds like they're clicking this button to fill out the agent contact form in order to submit a ticket. So as you can see, our contact information here is pre-filling. And the reason for that is because this is the demo Win 10-11 machine, which if you can see here in the list within the assets and RMM section, Crystal is the assigned contact to this asset, which is why all of her information is pre-filling in. So when they submit, if this is the way you have it set up, when they submit the ticket, the contact will automatically be attached and the asset will automatically be attached to this ticket. But let's say we're gonna say open office hours, and we're gonna say testing at SyncroMSP.com, and we'll just put in a different phone number. and we'll say, hi, hello. Send the request. What'll happen is when that ticket comes over, and it comes in super fast, which I love. But what will happen is if you scroll down to this communication section, it will be listed as a private note, because again, it'll say assigned contact is Crystal, but whoever is using her computer right now entered this information. So if this contact does not exist, it will list it down here. There isn't a button to automatically generate them as a contact. There's a way to do that through emails if you want me to show you through the email rules that we were talking about before, but kind of a separate rabbit hole. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, that's really helpful. Thank you, Tatiana. And I think remind me in the when you're setting up the agent contact form, do you have to select those fields to be required, or are they required by default?
Yeah, let's take a look. So
You can pick which ones. Yeah.
Okay, so maybe that would be a thing to make sure that those are required so that they're all making sure they're typing in their name.
Yeah, I'd say for sure, like name and email at minimum.
So in here, yep, require email and phone. Because yeah, that's such a good point. Because if you're not requiring anything, they're not filling it out, then you have no idea who's reaching out to you. So that's a really good point. That might be the button that fixes it for you.
Awesome.
Cool. Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just going to say, Darren had a great suggestions. Will the report modules ever be set up to drill down through the elements to get to the devices aggregated in the report results? So I think that is like the end goal. I know that like on some reports, like the vulnerable patches, you can click right into the asset. You can do some things from the reports, but like I think specifically from like the executive or internal report builders, like the idea of like clicking into like an actual graph and then drilling it down to the assets. And so I would imagine that's probably the ultimate goal, but I'm not there yet.
Awesome.
Real quick, sorry, can I jump back in since I'm still on this page for Mark? He said, where was that setting? I'm sorry, I kind of just clicked around so super fast regarding the agent contact forms we were just talking about. So the way you set up what this form looks like, or these fields that are required right here for the agent contact form, is if you go to your policy section, there's multiple ways to get here, but when you're initially building out that agent contact form, click into policy modules, and then agent contact forms, and then either build out a fresh new one or edit one of the ones that you already have. So if you click edit, that's where you find that setting require email and phone. And then once you've adjusted all the settings that you want for that agent contact form, go to policies and click into the policy that is setting or adjusting the settings for that asset. So like this policy is adjusting for this asset. So this is the policy that you'd want to edit. Scroll all the way towards the bottom. And here in the device system tray menu, say that you want to pull in that specific agent contact form that you just set that required name and email address section here, and then save, and it'll start appearing in this person's system tray icon with the proper agent contact form settings. And it goes, I know, so I've gotten this feedback from you guys before. Sometimes we answer over 100 questions in less than an hour. So that's like more than one question per minute. So sometimes it feels like we're flying by, and it's not because we don't think your questions are important, but because we want to get to them all. So these sessions are recorded. So if you do need to go back and take another look or rewind or repeat or slow down, that's going to be available here in the next couple of days on our YouTube channel. So let us know if it's going too fast or if it's too slow and if we need to hurry up. Let us know.
I don't think I've ever had anyone tell me I need to hurry up and talk faster. Okay, awesome. So Gary is asking, is there a way to archive, disable, or delete assets that have been offline for a certain number of days? What are best practices? This is actually one of my favorite features in the whole system, and one that a lot of people don't know exists. So in the Assets and RMM tab, out to the left, this magnifying glass, it's not a help article. Go ahead and click into there, create a new search, and maybe you want to say offline for 10 days. In here, you are going to be able to set this up. I think it's here under, is it here? Off, oh, you know what? I think it's up here in one of these. Offline, yes, hasn't checked in for 10 days. So I could create this search here. And then whenever I create this group of devices, not sure where it is on my list here, but any of your saved asset searches that you want to create. So like hasn't checked in for 10 days. Well, I have 14 devices that haven't checked in for 10 days. I select that. Now I can choose them in mass and I could delete them. Another thing you might want to do with them is put them in a policy that is like stale, essentially. It's not doing any type of monitoring or anything like that. You could definitely do that. There isn't a way just to archive those. So I would say delete or change them into a policy that's not like monitored. And then if you have the billing set up to where you're billing per policy, you could make sure that you're not billing for those. So that's an option. And then John's asking, when you're using canned responses, can you use ticket template tags? So yes, in the canned responses section, I just went to admin tickets, canned responses. I was just testing this one right here. Hi, testing open office hours, and I inserted a tag. Now, the list of tags is not on this page, so you would need to grab them from another one. I think we should add that as a suggestion. But I just tested this, and so inside of a ticket, maybe I want to add a canned response, and it was just this one I created. It's still right here going to show the tag, but whenever I save this note, it'll populate the name in here. So hopefully that helps.
Yeah, love that. Thank you, Brandy. Jeremy, I have a very important question for you. When we asked you to join us for open office hours, you sent this emoji, like the scream emoji. So I'm very curious about that because this Syncro tip, or I don't know what the phrasing, I feel like we need an official name for this now, around the API sounds super cool. So I think we would absolutely love to have you during the open office hours, or if you want to make a recorded video like the Chocolaty one, that would be pretty cool. So I'm going to read this out loud. Jeremy says the API is slick for sure. My favorite 2 uses. And I think you guys, everybody who's here, I think you guys can read the Q&A. So if I butchered this, you guys can copy and paste it and see if you can apply this to your own kind of day-to-day Syncro processes. So he says, my favorite 2 uses are email client templates and email monthly staff verification emails. The first allows any set of named templates stored in a SharePoint list to be sent to a contact with a click or 2. And the other emails contacts flag with receive report emails on the 25th of the month with the list of all staff, their contact details, and their support type, which is a custom field, with a notice to update us before the next billing cycle if it's not up to date. Well received by the clients that were looking out for their pocketbook. Oh, that's so thoughtful. That's super cool. I love that suggestion. Thank you, Jeremy. Really appreciate it.
I love that. And just with the API and Zapier and such. So we have a comment. I love the API. I was able to integrate my billing system in a few hours. I'd love to hear what billing system you're using, really, so that I can pass that along to other people that I chat with.
Yeah, that would be awesome.
I was going to grab this just from Gary. If you delete an asset and they come back online, what happens? So Gary, if you delete an asset in Syncro, like in the app, if you delete an asset, it will auto uninstall the agent. So you would not know if it came back online, which would, maybe be a way of popping them into a policy instead of deleting or putting them into maintenance mode or something like that. Because if you do delete it out of the app, it's gone. What else?
Oh, this is his PowerBooks. That's his, he made a billing system himself. I remember this. So yes.
Oh, gotcha.
That's very cool. And then I'm not ignoring the question in here. I just see if I have contact with contact custom fields and set up for a customer, and there's not the rest of that one. So let me know. We've got like 1 minute. I'd love to be able to answer that question for you if you have the rest of it.
For sure. Okay. Yes. Cheers, John. Thank you. Happy Friday, everybody. Let's see. Yes, and for the question that Brandy's talking about too, feel free, if one of us or if Hannah is your account executive, please just shoot us an email or help@syncromsp.com if you need some help. Happy to get some assistance your way. Yes, Jason, we hear FreshBooks a lot, but maybe that API is an answer. Who knows? I don't know. But we're right on the hour, so I'm going to go ahead and close up the session. Like I said, happy Friday. Have a wonderful weekend, everyone. Stay healthy, stay safe, and we'll see you next week. Thank you.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.